Identifying patterns. Children's behavior is influenced by the circumstances or events that precede it, also known as antecedents, and the reactions or results that occur afterward, which we call consequences. We call these the ABCs of behavior. Behavior patterns, whether positive or problematic, occur to either gain something or avoid something, depending on the situation. There are 4 common outcomes or payoffs that tend to cause behavior to continue over time: attention, items or activities, avoidance, or sensory outcomes. Sometimes children's behavior results in gaining attention from other people. A child may say or do something to get someone to respond. That response could range from beginning to play with the child, talking with the child, or simply glancing in their direction. Watch this video for an example of behavior that appears to be attention motivated.
Okay.
Mom, Mom, look, Mom.
Hey,
Mom, look.
stop.
Sometimes children's behavior is focused on getting particular items or activities. A child may say or do something to get an item, get it back, or keep it in his possession. Items could include food, toys, or other objects. Activities could be things like playing games, listening to music, watching videos, or using electronic devices. Of course, children all have unique preferences. Here's an example of a behavior that seems to be motivated by getting items or activities.
Well, do you want to do the dough instead? Do you want to change and do dough? Okay. Well, you want to go get it? I'll put the puzzles away. Yep. Right. Well. Okay. Now we can have some fun.
Sometimes children's behavior is motivated by avoiding, delaying, or escaping something they find to be unpleasant. When a child is required to do something she doesn't want to do, or is in a situation that makes her feel uncomfortable, she might say or do something to change the situation. Some things children might avoid are self-care activities, chores, homework, complex social situations, or environments they just don't like. Their behavior in these situations may result in leaving an environment, stopping, delaying, or avoiding an activity, or getting assistance. Watch this example of behavior that appears to be motivated by trying to avoid something.
Let's write your name, Jack. Oh. Stop. Hey. What's up?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. We're going to do half a page. Oh, wait. Stop. Jack, I can see that.
Sometimes children's behavior is sensory in nature, allowing them to regulate their internal or external environment in order to feel better. Certain behaviors increase stimulation, such as when a child sings to himself or flaps his arms. Other behaviors, such as covering ears, may decrease stimulation. Children's actions can provide reinforcement in one or more of the following senses: sight, touch, sound, smell, taste, and movement. Here's an example of behavior that may be producing sensory outcomes.
So, Groby?
I like sandwiches. Sandwich with
Lex?
and their head song. I like sandwiches.
Oh, it took a long time to put these up, so now they don't stand by themselves. FIFA?
Sandwich with Reeve Oliver and their hit song, I like sandwiches.
It's important to remember that children's behavior and what motivates it are likely to vary depending on the circumstances.
Look, you should eat a piece of toast. Do you want to sit there instead? Eat toast.
Notice how the little girl's behavior improves when the meal is moved to the dinner table instead of the family room, and her parents sit down with her to eat. For example, a child may only seek out attention from particular people. A child may engage in behavior to acquire items or activities only when he sees someone else with them or has been deprived of them for a period of time. A child may be cooperative with certain demands, but actively resist tasks with particular features, such as lots of repetition or complexity. And finally, a child may be more likely to engage in sensory-motivated behavior in particular environments. Now let's look at the following behavior and practice identifying possible patterns. What would you say the child is getting or avoiding? What occurred before the child's behavior that set the stage for it to occur?
No, we're walking together, remember? Walking together. We're walking together. Do you want to hold my hand? Can we hold hands? We're walking together. Walking feet. Walk together. Whoa, we're walking together.
You probably noticed that the daughter pulled away when she and her mother were walking from the car to the school. The first couple times, her mother took her hand and reminded her to walk together. Then as they approached the school, the girl ran ahead. It is not clear whether the girl's moving away from her mother to get attention or to avoid having to walk with her mother. It may very well serve both purposes. In addition to what's happening in the moment, children's behavior may also be affected by circumstances that are not immediately apparent. These are called setting events. Setting events include health problems like illness, fatigue, or hunger, or significant changes in routines like missing the bus or conflict between loved ones. When setting events come into play, a child may overreact to situations. Setting events are important when identifying behavior patterns because they can explain good days, bad days, and other fluctuations in behavior.
Do you want to do swing or trampoline? You need to make a choice. It's okay. Are you just trying them all? Which allergies? One? Is it allergies?
Remember that parents' behavior is also influenced by antecedents and consequences, and children's behavior often serves as an antecedent for a parent to react. Noting the potential purposes of our own behavior is therefore just as important as understanding the patterns affecting our children's behavior. In this video, it is clear that the little girl's mother is enjoying the interaction with her child, holding her and laughing with her. Therefore, it may be difficult for her mother to follow through with the instructions she is giving her child. When a parent responds to a child's behavior, the child may continue the behavior, behave at a higher rate, or stop the behavior. The child's response will impact what the parent does in the future. For example, if a parent praises his child for helping in the kitchen, and then the child works harder, the parent may be likely to praise again.
And we're going to scoop it. Oh, good
Perfect.
job.
Good job, Nevaeh.
Can you try that again with this one?
If a child's disruptive behavior immediately stops when family members give him what he wants, they may be more likely to give in again.
Do you want these?
Once we identify the patterns that seem to be setting the stage for behaviors to occur and causing them to continue, we are empowered to bring about positive changes. We can use what we've learned to develop strategies to improve child behavior. We can prevent problems by changing circumstances that usually precede challenging behavior, or remind children to use more positive behavior in difficult situations. For example, we might provide our child with focused attention prior to getting on the phone with a chatty friend. We might create a picture menu that clearly shows choices of activities that are available. We might assist our child with a task when he first starts becoming frustrated, rather than waiting until problems escalate. And we might plan highly engaging activities throughout the day, so our child does not become bored. We can teach our children better ways to meet their needs and respond to situations throughout their day. We can teach them to initiate interactions, request items or activities, say no or later, or entertain themselves. They may use words, gestures, pictures, or other methods to communicate their needs. In addition, we can teach our children skills to gain independence and participate more successfully in family and community activities.
What do you say?
Can I have that car, please?
This one.
You can talk to him about your feelings too. Remember we talked about,
And this side.
you can say, that's one of my favorite cars.
One of my favorite cars.
Could I trade you for a different red car?
Could I trade it for a different one, Miss Bright?
We can manage how we respond to our children's behavior, trying to make sure they get desirable outcomes for positive behavior, but not for problem behavior.
Rachel, I'm not going to talk with you until you stop hitting the couch and calm down. Alright, what's up?
We can play with a child only when he's speaking calmly or interacting appropriately with his toys.
If you wrestle, they can hurt you or hurt Abe, okay?
Here.
Okay?
We can withhold electronic devices until chores are done.
Get your Kindle. You got it.
We could allow breaks or offer assistance when a child asks for them, rather than when he hits.
You ready to take a break?
We can allow acceptable forms of sensory stimulation, such as dancing or sorting toys, but block sensory activities that may be socially unacceptable.
Oh, that's not what we do with yogurt here.
Knowing the specific patterns that are affecting our children's behavior allows us to make informed choices about what strategies are right for them. When we do this, we are able to bring about positive changes in our children's behavior.